Lighting can be a tough thing to wrap your head around, and sometimes one of the best ways to learn is to see how something's done and to look at the results. So for this tutorial, we wanted to light a scene in 3 different ways using the same set of lights, and then deconstruct both how it was done and why it was done. So we came up with a scene, something very simple. Somebody gets called down to his boss's office, and while he's waiting outside the office, he's daydreaming about what might happen. He comes up with 3 possible scenarios in his head. He might get promoted, he might get fired, or maybe she's trying to pick him up. So we take each one of those scenarios, and then we say how would we want the lighting to look, and how are we going to achieve that? So we have the same 5 lights for every scene. We have 3 Profoto daylight airs, which are an HMI at 5600 Kelvin, and we have 2 Profoto tungsten airs, which are a 1000 watt halogen light at about 3200 Kelvin. So the challenge with each scene is where we're going to put the lights, but also the modifiers that we're going to put on them and in front of them. Now we have a selection of different modifiers from Profoto, and that's what's going to make this really fun. So we can use these same 5 lights, but move the modifiers around in countless combinations. So we have a 2x3 softbox, we have a 4x6 softbox, we have their Magnum reflector, which is great for directing light and having more defined shadows. We have their soft white reflector, often called a beauty dish. That gives you much softer light, an alternative to a softbox, and is great in close with our characters. We also have the cine reflector. Now this allows us to put barn doors on the end and then use lenses in between. And the lenses are going to allow us to have a wider or a more spot light output. What is so cool about the daylight air and the tungsten air is that we can use the Profoto Air Remote to control all of them, to turn them on and off, and also control their light output. So imagine having a light 15 feet in the air and wanting to change how bright or dim it is. Or if we want to sit back, look through our camera, and then change the relative intensities of our different light to dial in our look exactly. So let's first take a look at the finished film, and then we're going to take it apart scene by scene, talk about how it was lit, and why we chose to light it that way.
I wonder why I got called down here. I have been doing a lot lately. Maybe I'm finally getting that promotion.
Have we told you lately how much we value your contribution?
Probably not. Man, she's hot. And she has been acting weird lately. She totally wants me. Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my office to meet with me.
Yeah, I wish. What if this isn't good news? What if they are downsizing and I'm the first to go?
What exactly do you do here?
Jesus, she's ready for you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to the time, but we're going to have to schedule.
Ugh.
So here we are, our first scene. This is going to be our promotion scene where he's daydreaming about getting good news and he's going to get promoted. So we want this to feel kind of happy, but definitely very natural. We don't want it to be super soft. We want it to be just a little harsh. And so for that, we're going to use a 2x3 softbox on an HMI. We've got the 800 watt Profoto HMI back here. It's about 15 feet back, 12 to 13 feet in the air, and we're only actually having it at about 60% brightness right now, because that's all we need to get a nice balance between the key and the natural fill we're getting from our foam core and just the reflective ceiling. We're also using a second HMI out the window. This one we actually have blasting through the trees and through the window. We've got a mesh in the window that comes with it, so we need a lot of power to get through all of those different modifiers and then come in and act as a hair light. It also kind of gives us some nice detail on the objects on her desk. And we have our third light, which is our 1K tungsten light, and we have all the filters removed from that to get as much light as possible. We threw a CTB on top of it to gel it to match the daylight of our 2 HMIs. Then we have a tree in front. We shake that subtly, what we call manual twinkle, and that gives us a nice rustling pattern on the back wall. So once we get our talent or a stand-in to sit here, with the remote, we can actually change the balance of our entire set, from our hair light, our key, and our background light, till we dial it in exactly perfect.
I wonder why I got called down here. I have been doing a lot lately. Maybe I'm finally getting that promotion.
Have we told you lately how much we value your contribution?
So here we are. This is the one where he's thinking he might get fired. So we want to make her seem really evil, and we want the whole set to feel very menacing. So we're going to start with our key light, and there we're going to use an HMI, and we're going to bring it in close so we have a really high intensity. And we can really overpower any natural light that's here so that she becomes singled out and the rest of the set falls away. We're going to throw a Fresnel lens in the HMI to focus the light in more. We're also going to use barn doors to help it from spilling off the rest of the set. We threw diffusion right in front here so that while it looks evil, we get harsh lines, it's still not super sharp, and it's a little bit more flattering on our talent. For our background, all we did is use another 1K tungsten light, and we turned it on really dim, about 35, so a third of the power, and that's just giving us an eerie glow outside the window so that there's some life there, but again, it's very warm. We've actually taken a CTO and we put that on top of the tungsten so it's super orange outside the window. Again, making the background around her feel really warm to play off the evil, where she's lit completely daylight, 5600, from this HMI.
Yeah, I wish. What if this isn't good news? What if they are downsizing and I'm the first to go?
What exactly do you do here?
So here's our third setup. In this one, he's thinking that maybe she's trying to come on to him. So for this, we want a really glamorous look to our lighting. So the first thing we're going to think about is our key light, and for that we're going to go to the 4x6 Profoto softbox. When we put that on the HMI, we've got a super bright, super soft key light. We're going to walk that in super close and put it vertical along her side, so we're going to get a really nice soft light on her. Then we're going to add a 4x4 reflector to the other side, and we're going to have a really nice ratio between the two. For the background, we're going to use the soft reflector on another HMI and just turn that all the way up to give it a really nice hair light. We're going to use one of the tungsten lights with a CTB gel on the background to kind of spot the center and draw the focus in on her. Our last light is an HMI outside the window. That's our third HMI for this setup. One is the key, one is our hair light, and then one coming through the window. And that's really just to light up the trees and give the outside a little bit more depth.
Probably not. Man, she's hot. And she has been acting weird lately. She totally wants me. Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my office to meet with me.
It was so much fun to be able to shoot these scenes in the set, to have 3 different personalities, and need to create it with just 5 lights and the same set of modifiers. What is so cool for us is that when we first got these Profoto lights, they were so easy from the moment we took them out of the box. Everything is so clearly labeled, and it's very easy to pick it up and understand exactly what each modifier and each light is able to do.